Hello, and welcome to Math Lessons with Linda. Today's topic is how to factor the sum and difference of two perfect cubes. So let's start off today with the sum of two cubes, which looks like this: a to the third plus b to the third. Now, if you remember earlier with factoring, you've probably done a difference of two squares. When we get to the cubes, both for the sum and the difference, you will find that there is a pattern, and you will use the same pattern every single time, which makes the factoring of these so much simpler. So the first thing that I want to do is take the cubed root of each of these terms. So the cubed root of a to the third is a, and the cubed root of b to the third is b. That's my first step. Now, when we factor the sum or difference of cubes, what's going to happen is we will have a binomial set of parentheses, so we're going to have two terms, and we also have a trinomial. That will be every single time. Now, when I am trying to figure out, well, what are all the signs that I put in here? This is the pattern. When it's addition, when it's a sum, you're going to start off with an addition sign in the binomial. And then when you're doing everything in the trinomial, it's going to be a minus, and then it's going to be a plus. So it's plus and then minus plus. So these terms alternate from positive to negative. So now I've got to figure out, well, what are these terms actually? So I'm going to take in my binomial one of each of these factors that I got from the cubed root. So I'm going to have an a plus a b. When I get to my trinomial, my first term is going to be the square of this first term. So a squared goes here, and my last term is going to be b squared. Okay, so it's the square of whatever this factor was. And then in the middle term, I take one of each of these and I multiply it together. This pattern will be the same every single time you are doing the sum of two perfect cubes. So let's see what that looks like when we actually do one. So let's do 64 plus m to the third. Okay, so let's take the cubed root of 64. That's a 4. And the cubed root of m to the third, which is an m. So our pattern is always the same, binomial, trinomial, and our signs are also always going to be the same when it's addition: plus, minus, and then plus. So now what I'm going to do is, in my binomial, I take one of each of these. So it's 4 plus m. I'm going to take this first factor that I have, 4, and square it. And I'm going to write this actually squared, which is 16. My last term here is going to be an m squared. And then in the middle, remember, we take one of each of these and multiply. So 4m in the middle. And this same pattern will happen every time we have the sum of two perfect cubes. A binomial and a trinomial, and it goes plus, minus, plus. Okay, so that's for the sums. Let's talk about the difference of two cubes. So the difference of two cubes looks like this: a to the third minus b to the third. Now, the good news is a lot of this is the same as the sums. I'm going to take the cubed roots of each of these. I also have a binomial and a trinomial, and all of the terms that I get are going to be the same. The only thing that I change are the signs. So in a difference of two cubes, when this is minus, the binomial is the minus, and then these last two terms are both the same, and they're both plus. So for the difference of two cubes, it goes minus, plus, plus. Everything else that we did from the sum with our terms is the same. I have a and b. I have here an a squared, at the end a b squared, and then that middle term is an a times a b. So let's look at what one of these is. So I have 1,000 minus z to the third. So I'm going to take the cubed root of 1,000, which is just 10, and the cubed root of z to the third, which is z. And I'm going to have a binomial, I'm going to have a trinomial. It's going to be minus, plus, plus. I put one factor of 10 and one of z in here. Then I'm going to take the 10 and square it. I'm going to multiply that out. So this is 100 at the beginning. Back here is a z squared. And then this middle term, I take one of each. So 10 times z, and that goes in the center. So same as the sum. The only thing that changes is minus, plus, plus, and that's for the difference. And that is how you do factoring the sum or difference of two perfect cubes.